What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Casual Wrestling Daily Podcast. I am your host, the Notorious Nerdy D, and tonight I am about to break down pro wrestling for all the true casual fans. So whether you are listening on podcast networks or watching on YouTube, make sure to like and leave a comment on this week's episode. Let's waste no time. We have a very important topic one. Let's jump right into it today. Somebody please tell me who the hell Uncle Howdy is. Because we have this character who keeps appearing. His mask keeps slightly altering. And he keeps showing up. And the internet and the IWC and the casual fans, they're all going crazy trying to figure out who's under this mask. And I've seen theory after theory after theory. And I need people, somebody step up. Somebody who listens to this show, step up and tell me who is it. Who is it? Who is under the Uncle Howdy mask? And so what I did today, what I thought would be a fun topic to open the show would be, I put together my 5 favorite theories on who Uncle Howdy could possibly be, starting with theory number 1. And this theory number 1 here is Uncle Howdy is just a manifestation of Bray Wyatt himself. This was the theory that I think gained the most traction among fans early on when Bray Wyatt first came out with the whole Wyatt 6, and we saw all the different little characters around the ring at the end of Extreme Rules. This was the theory that most people tended to kind of lean into, that these characters were all going to be Bray Wyatt. They weren't going to be other people. I guess you had 2 sides. There was one side that thought it was going to be 6 different people, but there was one side who really thought that this is Bray Wyatt's past. These are all the characters that Bray Wyatt's played, from the Fiend to the Wyatt family to the Firefly Funhouse, all of these characters coming together. And this made sense. It was all supported because there was enough previous characters that it made sense that this could be a manifestation of split personality. In fact, there's a lot of people who still believe, and I've still seen people talking about, that Uncle Howdy could just be the Fiend that has been removed from the mind of Bray Wyatt and put into a physical person. But this is interesting. You have to wonder, how does this work long term? How do we book this long term if these characters, or if Uncle Howdy are all just manifestations of Bray Wyatt, and he continues to do the voiceover work, create the characters, and they're just given physical bodies that we never identify who they actually are. I mean, there is a chance, right? There's a possibility that we never find out who's under the masks, that if these are just manifestations, that all WWE and Triple H and Bray Wyatt really need are just bodies to carry the character. And the split personality concept could be just that Uncle Howdy is a manager type of character who appears from time to time to kind of give Bray Wyatt his barking orders, and then we go from there. I think that's the most uninteresting theory. I think that's the most uninteresting line of thinking when it comes to who Uncle Howdy is, because I don't love the idea of losing out on a surprise, right? You always have the opportunity when somebody comes out and they're not known who it is and they're wearing a mask, you're given the opportunity to surprise people. And I think that the reality is that this is an opportunity to surprise people. So I don't like this theory. I did early on, but I don't like this theory now. I don't believe that Uncle Howdy will just be a manifestation of Bray Wyatt. I think there's going to be a character behind who Uncle Howdy actually is. That leads me to theory number 2. Theory number 2 is that Uncle Howdy is being portrayed by Bo Dallas. Now, this seems to be the most popular theory among the casual wrestling audience. The people who are more like myself seem to be leaning into this idea that Uncle Howdy has to be played by Bo Dallas, based on the fact that there were all the rumors that Bo Dallas was being re-signed to the WWE. I think as casual fans, we believe it has to be played by somebody who is close and possibly family with Bray Wyatt, and somebody who knows him well enough to accuse him of lying to the world. It would make sense, right? Bo Dallas could fit all of those characteristics. And so being his real life brother, the logical standpoint here is that it presents the opportunity for WWE to create a star in Bo Dallas and somebody who always had all of the potential, but I think was put into some bad positions. But I will say that I think this theory, the theory of Bo Dallas, may be the most boring theory. I think just because it seems like the most obvious. It seems like if you were breaking this down to and Bray Wyatt doesn't really seem to be a guy who likes to go with the most obvious theory. And there's always the opportunity or the chance that Bray Wyatt is tricking us by having different people under the mask so that we can't pick up visual clues. But I will say that from looks, I've seen people break down, there are physical characteristics to Bo Dallas that makes sense, but I don't think that's who. I don't want to believe this is who it is, because I think this is the most boring theory there could be. Which leads me to number 3. My third theory on who Uncle Howdy could be. And I've seen this theory pick up some steam in some of the more IWC heavy communities and some of the communities that like to just kind of, dig deeper and go off the beaten path a little bit. And that is that Uncle Howdy is being portrayed by Edge. Now, I hate this theory. I don't think that this is the biggest long shot of the 5 theories I'm presenting today, but I think it has to be talked about, because if you look at the appearance of this character has some physical characteristics which make sense. They seem to match up. The hair matches up a little bit. The beard matches up a little bit. You can see some of Edge in Uncle Howdy. Now, I don't think physically, from a stature point of view, I don't think it looked like Edge, but there is a theory going around on the internet. People believe that Edge could possibly be Uncle Howdy, and some of the deeper elements that people are laying into is the fact that Edge went absent at the same time that Bray Wyatt showed up. I could see how you could dig into that. After losing his I Quit match against Finn Balor at Extreme Rules, Edge just seemingly disappeared. There was always, back when the little vignettes would run about Edge coming back, there was always rumors that Bray Wyatt and Edge were going to be linked together. So I see how you could lean on that. But I think the reality is here that Edge's story is going to be linked to the Judgment Day for the foreseeable future, probably all the way through WrestleMania. The report had been that we were going to get Finn Balor and Edge in some form of match at WrestleMania. I just can't draw and connect the lines to put Edge in an authority role over Bray Wyatt. I don't know who that benefits. You're not creating any new stars. It's not doing anything for Edge's character. It's just more. It would be just more kind of illogical booking on the part of WWE and Bray Wyatt and Triple H to just create this weird idea that Edge just left and came back as some kind of controller of Bray Wyatt. Which leads me to theory number 4 that I've seen, which is Uncle Howdy is being portrayed by Bray Wyatt's real life uncle, Barry Windham. I like this theory. Admittingly, I didn't know all the connections to Bray Wyatt's family history within the WWE, that his dad was a wrestler, that his uncles were wrestlers. And this is his uncle this is his maternal uncle. But Windham is a former NWA champion. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. He's known for his role in the Four Horsemen. He definitely, you can draw the quick line of connection of Uncle Howdy to, this is Uncle Barry. This is a real life uncle. So you can draw those lines to connect that this is somebody who would know Bray Wyatt. This is somebody who could tell the world that Bray Wyatt was lying to the world. And this theory was first brought to attention. The most prominent person I saw bring this to attention was Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, who pointed out that there were definite similarities in Uncle Howdy and Barry Windham. And I can see that when I go Google images and I look at them next to each other, I see the facial hair. I can see, and I like this idea. This is an idea I like, of bringing in maybe some people from Bray Wyatt's past or his real life, but deeper connections that reintroduce us to people we may not know. I like this idea, and it's starting to gain traction. But this is my favorite theory. This is theory number 5. And it's not because I know who these people are necessarily, which I do know who they are, but it's because, well, let me give you the theory. Theory number 5 is that Uncle Howdy is being portrayed by Vincent and Dutch. Now, if you're a casual fan like myself, you may go, hey man, D, who are Vincent and Dutch? So I'll give you a quick background. Vincent and Dutch, they're a Ring of Honor tag team. They were on Impact Wrestling, I believe, as well. They started about 2015 in Ring of Honor, making a name for themselves. High energy team, impressive in-ring skills. They competed against some of the top teams in the world. They've been Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions on 2 separate occasions, I believe. But they have the same vibe. If you go look up Vincent and Dutch, go back and Google some of the things they've done, and they just have the same. They live in that same space as Bray Wyatt, that kind of creepy, kind of paranormal. They fit the whole decor of the Wyatt family, and that they fit right in. But recently, Vincent and Dutch were spotted backstage at Monday Night Raw, which immediately began to fuel this idea that they could be linked to Bray Wyatt, and that their righteous gimmick would slide right in with the Uncle Howdy and the Bray Wyatt and the mystique that's going on. Additionally, WWE trademarked the names Uncle Howdy and Uncle Harper right around the same time that the rumors and the speculation began that Vincent and Dutch were going to be joining the WWE in some form or capacity. So there's that. That makes sense. When you start, these are more facts that I can hang my hat on that start to, these aren't just your beard looks like this. These are behind the scenes business aspects that make me believe if all coincidences don't happen, right? And then to add to that speculation, Vincent and Dutch were also spotted in the crowd at an NXT show, apparently following their tryout at the Performance Center. So maybe they were run through the ropes to see if they were ready to handle this kind of role. They probably nailed it. And this has led, I think this leads many to believe that at least they're joining the WWE, but what a better way to have them join into the WWE, because here is the problem with Bray Wyatt. For all the good he is, and for all the great storytelling Bray Wyatt gives you, Bray Wyatt is a star destroyer, not a star creator. And this isn't a Star Wars joke. Bray Wyatt is a star destroyer, more in the terms of it's almost impossible to come out of a program with Bray Wyatt over. He's going to leave the program over. That's what he is, the spectacle. The other day when he came out on SmackDown, I turned to Lauren and I said, this is a show in itself. This is Bray Wyatt's entrance, Bray Wyatt talking. It's the Bray Wyatt show. For the 5 to 10 minutes that he's on camera, it's all eyes on him. And bless you could say bless LA Knight for doing the best he can to try to not get swallowed by this supernova of a star that Bray Wyatt is. He's attempting, he's doing everything, and he's doing an amazing job. He, treading water, because how do you stay relevant when Bray Wyatt is the focus? He is the focus. And the problem is, and I think this was the problem in Bray Wyatt's first run, is that every person that Bray Wyatt steps on his way to the top becomes a casualty, and they're not able to really take anything out of what happened. Look at all of the people that Bray Wyatt kind of crashed through, and you can include Alexa Bliss in that, right? Because even though it seemed like Alexa took his gimmick, it still feels like it left Alexa a little bit stranded. You brought her into this amazing thing, and then you left or were released or whatever, and she was left to flounder and hasn't really recovered since. And even so even then, we don't know what the conclusion to how Alexa fits into any of this. So there's so many questions to be asked. But going back to Bray Wyatt being a star destroyer, I think that Triple H has to really dig down, and if he's going to put this many chips into the Bray Wyatt basket, he has to come away from this with more stars. And so if Bray Wyatt can't create stars based on the people he's wrestling against, then it only makes sense to bring in new people to surround Bray Wyatt with that can become instant stars. Look what he did for the Wyatt family. He created stars. He can do the same thing with Dutch. With Vincent and Dutch here. He can create new stars. He can introduce them to a wrestling audience that may not know how interesting they could be. But the problem with this whole Bray Wyatt thing to me may be this story just might be too complex for WWE, for casual wrestling fans. It has too many branching paths at this point, and it has too many details that you either have to follow or ignore. And I say that because it looks like Uncle Howdy's mask kind of changes from week to week, which then leads the hardcore conspiracists to go, well, that's not Uncle Howdy, that's Uncle Harper, that's a different character. But you have Michael Cole kind of reiterating that no, it is the same character, and it's probably the mask was just changed for comfort or some aesthetic reason. But the Alexa Bliss elements to this story, it's just got so many branching off storylines, maybe too soon. It's maybe not that there's too many branching storylines. Maybe it was just too soon to have this many branching paths off of a story where we don't even know to the full extent who these characters are. And I think that this could play detrimental for WWE, because I'm starting to see quite a few people express displeasure with how long this is taking. Now, I was one of the early ones who came out and said, this is taking a little bit long. And a lot of the IWC jumped on me and told me, you got to be patient, bro. You got to let it play out. But now we're about 4 or 5 weeks post me saying that, and I'm starting to see the rumblings of a lot of other people saying the same thing. And so I got to wonder if the wave has started, if the ball is rolling, how long can we continue to do these branching, complex, kind of spidering storylines without any real resolution or we're being drip fed all this information. So let me kind of wrap it up here on this is basically, 5 theories. There's 5 theories to who this could be. Bray Wyatt could be Uncle Howdy. I don't like it because it's too complex. It's too hard to sell people on this idea that these are all manifestations of Bray Wyatt, yet they're being portrayed by physical people. I don't like that. Bo Dallas, I don't like that theory only because it seems too obvious. Edge, I don't like it because I don't think that from a storyline point of view, it doesn't make sense. And I don't even think physically the look made any sense to me, but that is a theory that's going around. Barry Windham could be the most interesting, could be the most probably unexpected, but I still don't believe it's where we're headed. My favorite theory is the Vincent and Dutch theory. So I want everybody who's listened to this at this point, I want you guys chime in the comments. Let me know who you think that Uncle Howdy actually is, so that maybe we can talk about it some more tomorrow, and I can kind of go through some of the names that you guys give me. Okay, guys, let me take a short break to remind you guys that I have been putting a lot of time and effort into creating this podcast, and I am so grateful for all of the support I have received so far. If you have been enjoying this show, I would really appreciate it if you would jump over to patreon.com/The Casual Wrestling Show and just hit the follow button. By joining the Patreon community, you'll be able to help me continue to produce high quality content and bring new and interesting ideas to the table. Plus, you will get access to bonus content and other perks starting in late January. I am so grateful for your guys' support, and I can't wait to see how this channel continues to grow. But if you are interested in joining the Patreon community, just click the link in the description of this video or head over to patreon.com/The Casual Wrestling Show. Thank you guys again for listening, and I can't wait to see all the cool stuff that we come up with as a community in the near future. So we got a couple of quick little stories we'll jump into. Carl Anderson recently returned to the WWE alongside Luke Gallows. However, Anderson was also holding the New Japan Pro Wrestling Never Openweight Championship at the time of his return. Despite choosing to compete at WWE Crown Jewel over New Japan Pro Wrestling's Battle Autumn in November, Anderson will be appearing at the highly anticipated Wrestle Kingdom 17 this Wednesday. Or could we see more cross promotion between WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling in the future? Look, Triple H is stealing back the IWC audience. If not by if not by sneaky means. He's looked at Tony Khan's playbook. Tony Khan wrote the playbook for him on how to please the IWC. And Triple H is just stealing back this audience. And it's apparent, right? Triple H has decided that he can open up this forbidden door a little bit, and he can pull in wrestlers and let his guys go other places to promote themselves. And this is right out of AEW's playbook. My only fear for Triple H here is that he doesn't cross over too far to the dark side. Like I think he has a little bit of a tendency to do. I think that if he sees this working too much, I'm afraid that he'll dip into this pond a little bit too often. But I think that there's an interesting side to this. I still believe that Carl Anderson wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom 17 is proof that we may not be done with Sasha Banks yet. I think there's a telling date. There's a telling date, and that is the AEW episode where Saraya's mystery partner will be revealed. If that mystery partner is Sasha Banks, we can put this all to rest. But if it's not, I think there's a good chance that she's still linked to WWE based on Triple H's ability and willingness to play ball with other companies. He can allow her to go build herself up, go build her name up in other promotions and bring her back when they're ready, possibly WrestleMania. Now, I know Tony Khan commented on this kind of phenomenon that's happening with Triple H reaching out to other companies. And Tony Khan kind of said that, oh, no, I'm cool with this. Like, I'm cool. I have good relationships with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's okay for WWE to build those relationships. But I know Tony Khan can say whatever he wants. But this kind of move from Triple H is a hostile move, especially after signing Dragon Lee, who was somebody that AEW was extremely interested in. This is a hostile attack. This is Triple H looking to now impede into the AEW audience and reach in and grab some of those hardcore wrestling fans and pull them out. Tony Khan's going to really have to shore up his relationships with some of these companies if he doesn't want to get iced out, because I do believe that WWE has a tendency to kind of draw lines in the sands for companies and say, look, if you want to work with WWE, you're going to have to stop working with AEW or other companies. And I do believe that they have that kind of power. And these are the type of things that can be crippling to a company like AEW. WWE superstar Montez Ford is releasing a new album titled King Tez Said under the stage name Montez. The album is set to feature 10 tracks and will be released on all major streaming platforms on January 8th. Look, Montez Ford is a star, man. He's going to have a reality show with Bianca Belair. He's out here dropping music on us. Now, I don't even know what kind of music. I know he can sing, but I don't know what kind of music to expect from Montez Ford. And I'm also curious to see, how does this project line up and how is it connected to WWE? Because if wrestlers can't profit from Twitch channels, you know, the policy within WWE is you can't have a Twitch account that's profiting. You can't have a side career. You can't have a side hustle. And this is not including the Mandy Rose stuff where she crossed kind of lines of PG and corporate policy. This is more under the staple of like not letting guys do video game streaming on their channel. But how does this work? So can you have a side music career but not have a, like, I don't get that. I don't understand. It's interesting. I'd like to find out more on what exactly how the schematics of this situation kind of came to be, and is this a WWE kind of produced project? But just on kind of playing devil's advocate to this, I'm excited for it. But goofy side projects like this, like goofy albums, and I'm not saying that his is goofy, but there's been a lot of wrestlers and musicians and they've tried to cross over to places. Just because you can sing doesn't make you a musician. But side projects like this are risky, because if you don't absolutely nail it, if you don't nail this 100%, it can be fuel to be used against you at later times. And so we have to see how good or bad this really is. This can come back to bite Montez in the ass if this is some goofy kind of corny music project. I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. It's supposed to release, I think, January 8th. So we're right around the corner from knowing what this is, but it's a 10-track album. That's a lot of music in this day and age. Most people don't drop 10-track albums out of nowhere. Most of the time, people test these kind of things out on TikTok. We get little snippets. I'm surprised we haven't got a TikTok snippet of Montez Ford's music, right? Or at least a single. And there hasn't been any cross promotion with WWE. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what this is. This will be kind of it's kind of uncharted territory in 2022, 2023 for WWE superstars to see if WWE is allowing them to have some side ventures. It has been reported that WWE superstar Gunther suffered an injury during the final SmackDown of 2022. The extent of the injury is currently unknown, but Gunther has been seen or was seen being helped to the back by officials after the match. Ricochet came in hot on SmackDown. Like, he came in real hot. He was just swinging that chair around. When I saw it, I thought, man, he's going to hit somebody. And I didn't realize, I saw people saying they realized that Gunther got hit. I didn't realize he made connection with Gunther, but I definitely thought that he is swinging that chair around without any regard for anybody's safety. And while that may look great and you may be able to sell that as intensity, it's also extremely dangerous. You have to be extremely careful when you run into a ring and you're swinging around a metal chair. And there are parts of that chair that hurt way more than others. And I do believe that Gunther got hit with a part of that chair that hurts way more than that flat seat of the chair. You got to believe, Ricochet, your receipt is coming. I could put together a top 10 list of people that I wouldn't want to receive a receipt from in pro wrestling, and Gunther would be 1 through 10. He would be every person on that list. 1 through 10, it's just write Gunther's name down. So good luck, Ricochet. Whatever receipt you're about to get, that's not gonna be. It's not gonna be pretty. But this leads me into kind of a little bit of a different take on this, and that is that I've noticed just a small bit that WWE feels a little bit messy in terms of things like this. Things that were normally kind of real tight and guys didn't do things like come out swinging a chair all nilly-gilly and hitting people in the head and cutting them. And I wonder if that's not a post-Vince McMahon thing. I wonder if there's a little bit of that fear of going to the back and just being berated is gone. And the leashes have kind of been let out a little bit, maybe even too much by Triple H. And guys are starting to feel overly comfortable going out into the ring and kind of doing wild things. And I know that can breed some creativity, but it can also lead to accidents like this if there's no fear of going to the back and somebody just like chewing your ass out. And so I wonder if that's a product of a post Vince McMahon era and WWE, is that guys feel like maybe they're able to get away with a little bit more. Even as far as the whole like breaking of the kayfabe in the final matchup, right? With Cena and Owens and Roman and Sammy, you saw the part where the referee was signaling things to Roman and to Kevin, and it became glaringly obvious that she was calling the matchup for them. And you got to wonder, because that's an audio issue, right? That's just the wrong microphone turned up at the wrong time. You've got to wonder, in the Vince McMahon era, is that something that never happens because he is an over stickler for all of these things? And you know, if you do this when Vince McMahon is around, you are basically a dead man? Those are just things I find to be curious. Is like, are we going to see more and more and more mistakes from production and from wrestlers, or is this just a one-off thing that happened and Triple H will clean it all up? All right, guys. So I have an exciting contest to talk about today. If you leave us a 5-star review on either Spotify or Apple Podcast and you tag us on your favorite social media account, you will be entered to win a $25 WWE gift card. It is the perfect opportunity to... All right, guys, I got a cool opportunity for you today. We're going to be running a contest. If you leave us a 5-star review on either Spotify or Apple Podcast and tag us on your favorite social media account, you will be entered to win a $25 WWE gift card. It is the perfect opportunity to show your support for this show and to get your hands on some sweet WWE merchandise. The winner will be announced at the end of January, so make sure to follow us on social media to stay updated. Don't wait. Leave your review. Tag us on social media to qualify. We'll be contacting the winner through social media, so make sure to leave some way to contact you. And make sure to follow us on all social media accounts to stay updated. Good luck. And as always, thank you for listening to this show. All right, guys, it is time for a clean finish. And instead of having you guys ask me questions, I thought it would be more fun if I asked you guys a question. And I want you guys to answer this question with either a duet or answer it in the comments. But let me know your answers. I don't want to sway anybody with my answer to this question. I will talk about this tomorrow. But today I want you guys to answer for me. Who will be the longest reigning WWE or Universal Champion in the year 2023? So you guys let me know your answers in the comments. Let me know your answers. You can make your own videos. If you make your own videos on social media, make sure to tag me in them so that I can comment and respond. If you make a video on TikTok, make sure when you make a video, at me all the time. You can at me for anything, and I will respond to that video. So question for you guys, question of the day is, who will be the longest reigning WWE or Universal Champion in the year 2023? But that is all the time we have today. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Casual Wrestling Daily Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's show and discussion. And if you have any suggestions or thoughts for future episodes, please don't hesitate to reach out and drop those in the comments section. And do not forget to join us tomorrow, same place, same time, for more wrestling talk. Until then, it is time to ring the final bell.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Hey, Casual Wrestling Community Show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Dope show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, power driver or clothesline. We bringing that heat like the show, but you should